Hey folks, before we get started, make sure you follow S News so you don't miss this or any of our future videos. If you want to support us, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and drop a comment below. It really helps us out, and well, keeps you in the loop. The first strike of the American B-2 bomber, wiping the cartel's lab off the map. More Americans are dying now than in both world wars combined, but there are no missiles falling from the sky. This isn't a war with soldiers and tanks. It's a silent invasion. It starts deep in the jungle and ends in the streets of American cities. Behind it is a deadly empire that grows stronger, richer, and more hidden every year. But now the US has a new answer, and it's not about negotiations. It's about stealth, precision, and overwhelming force. Let's take a look behind the scenes with US Navy operations. Drug cartels aren't just a foreign problem anymore. They're a national crisis, killing more Americans each year than both world wars combined. Back in the 1980s, about 2,500 people died from overdoses each year. Now that number has exploded to over 110,000 deaths annually, making addiction one of the leading causes of death in the US. The people hit the hardest aren't the wealthy or powerful. It's working-class families and low-income communities where addiction spreads quickly and access to treatment is often limited. In many cities, fentanyl and meth have replaced jobs and hope, tearing apart neighborhoods and families. Meanwhile, the cartels keep growing. Their business thrives off American demand. Today, the US consumes more than 80% of the world's opioid supply, making it the most profitable market on the planet. With billions of dollars at stake, cartels have built global supply chains, high-tech transportation routes, and even private armies to protect their operations. But beyond the numbers lies an even deeper threat. These cartels aren't just drug dealers. They're organized, heavily armed networks capable of smuggling tons of illegal goods across oceans, borders, and even underground. Their influence reaches into politics, law enforcement, and the black market economy. This isn't just about drugs, it's about national security. The more money cartels make, the more powerful they become. And with every overdose, they win another battle in a war most people don't even see. In response, the US is now treating the cartels like enemy armies, using tactics and tools once reserved for war zones. Cartels don't just hide drugs in cars or backpacks anymore. They're using military-style techniques to stay ahead of American patrols. Their smuggling methods have become so advanced that satellites and drones often can't detect them in time. One of their most dangerous tools is the narco-sub, a homemade submarine built to transport huge amounts of drugs underwater without being seen. These subs are often built deep in remote jungles from wood, fiberglass, and even lined with lead to block heat detection. Each one can carry up to 10 tons of cocaine, worth more than $150 million. With a small crew and the ability to sink themselves if spotted, they're basically ghost ships. But subs aren't their only trick. The cartels also use fast boats, small, incredibly fast, and nearly impossible to catch. These boats can reach speeds over 80 miles per hour and are powered by multiple engines. They're painted in dull blue or gray to blend in with the ocean and avoid radar. Some ride so low in the water that only the cockpit is visible, making them look like shadows skimming across the sea. The newest designs are even more dangerous. Cartels have started combining submarine stealth with speedboat velocity, creating low-profile vessels that look like dark shapes on the water. These hybrid boats are built to dodge radar, infrared, and sonar, the very tools used by the Navy. Each new smuggling method makes it harder to predict when or where the next drug shipment will arrive. But these vessels aren't just delivering drugs, they're actively challenging national defense systems. The US isn't just losing the fight on land, it's being tested at sea too. And when stealth becomes the cartel's greatest weapon, the US has to answer with tools built for modern covert warfare. In a bold shift, the United States government started treating cartels not just as criminals, but as foreign terrorist organizations. This move, opened the door for military responses similar to those used after 9/11. President Donald Trump led this charge by officially designating 8 major cartels as terrorist groups. This gave United States forces, including the Navy and Special Ops, greater power to act. Fighting the cartels was no longer just a law enforcement issue. It became a full-on national security mission. Just weeks after the announcement, Trump addressed Congress, calling the cartels a direct threat to American lives. His message was clear: if the cartels are waging war on America, America will fight back. This wasn't just talk, it was a strategy. The United States partnered with Mexico in a joint military training program, bringing together American Green Berets and Mexico's elite Marine forces. This kind of military teamwork between the two countries is rare. These forces now practice not just arrest tactics, but how to take out high-value targets and dismantle entire drug networks. Meanwhile, the CIA and Department of Defense began flying drones over cartel strongholds in Mexico. These drones don't just watch, they gather intel, track movements, and map out drug labs hidden deep in the jungle. The shift in strategy is clear. Cartels are no longer seen as street gangs or smugglers. They're being treated as armed networks that must be broken up like terrorist cells. That means stealth, precision, and overwhelming first strikes. To lead that first strike, the Pentagon chose one of its most advanced weapons, something designed to win wars before the enemy even knows it's coming, the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. This aircraft is one of the most advanced in the world. It's built for missions that require silence and accuracy. What makes the B-2 so powerful is its ability to fly undetected into enemy territory and deliver deadly payloads with pinpoint accuracy. Its radar signature is only 0.1 square meters, smaller than a bird, making it nearly invisible to most detection systems. That stealth allows it to get close to a target without alerting anyone. The B-2 can carry up to 40,000 pounds of bombs, including bunker busters that can destroy drug labs or command centers deep underground. While it can carry nuclear weapons, that's not part of this campaign. Instead, it's armed with GPS-guided jam bombs, designed to take out cartel sites without flattening nearby areas. All four of its engines are hidden deep within the body, reducing heat and sound signals. On most radar screens, the B-2 doesn't even look like a plane. It shows up like a cloud or a bird. It's also fully connected to the United States military's command network, receiving real-time updates from satellites, drones, and Navy aircraft, all without turning on its own radar. The mission is simple. Fly in, eliminate the threat, and get out before anyone knows what hit them. The B-2 opens the door for the next wave of attacks. But even the B-2 needs backup. And that's where carrier-based fighter jets come in to finish what the bomber starts. A successful air campaign doesn't rely on one aircraft alone. After the B-2 clears the way, F/A-18 Super Hornets launch from United States Navy carriers to finish the job. These jets are fast, flexible, and perfect for precision strikes. Their mission is to take out the cartel's communication towers, the backbone of orders sent between camps and remote hideouts. Once these towers are gone, cartel leaders can't coordinate or call for help, throwing their networks into chaos. To do this job cleanly, the jets use GBU-38 bombs, 500-pound guided munitions with a blast radius of about 80 meters. They're small enough to avoid harming civilians or nearby infrastructure, but powerful enough to eliminate high-value targets. Timing is everything. The B-2 strikes at night first, then the F/A-18s hit just moments later, catching any survivors off guard. This shock and awe strategy leaves cartel members rattled, showing them there's nowhere safe, not even deep in the jungle. This air campaign shows how modern warfare depends on teamwork between stealth bombers and fighter jets. Each plays a unique role in a strategy designed to quickly and efficiently dismantle cartel operations. But while the skies are precise and deadly, the seas are a battlefield too. One of the most effective weapons in this fight is the USS Cutter James. The Cutter James recently completed a 112-day patrol in the Pacific and Caribbean. During the mission, its crew intercepted multiple drug boats and submarines. Over 48,000 pounds of cocaine have been taken off the market. That's enough illegal drugs to supply an entire city for a year, with a street value of around $919 million. What makes the USS Cutter James stand out is its use of drones and helicopters. The drones can fly for nearly 18 hours, scanning huge areas with high-resolution cameras. In one case near Ecuador, a drone spotted a suspicious boat quietly moving through the water. The ship tracked it until a helicopter team arrived, arrested 3 smugglers, and seized more than 2,200 pounds of cocaine. But smugglers aren't easy to catch. They use stealth boats and low-riding drug subs that are hard to detect on radar. Some of these vessels can sink themselves within minutes if they sense danger. Still, the USS Cutter James has advanced systems that detect heat and unusual movement, giving its crew a big advantage. In one dramatic mission, a stealth boat tried to escape by dumping cocaine into the sea, but the U.S. crew launched small boats, chased the smugglers down, and recovered over 6,000 pounds of floating drugs before they sank. These quick responses show how skilled and well-trained Navy teams are. By combining traditional patrols with high-tech detection and rapid action, the USS Cutter James proves the ocean is no longer a safe route for drug cartels, and that's just one piece of a much bigger plan. This is a coordinated operation involving every branch of power, from the sea to the sky, to crush the cartel empire. The U.S. isn't fighting this with just one part of its military. It's a full-scale campaign where Navy ships, Air Force bombers, Coast Guard patrols, and even Mexican special forces work as a unified team. Their goal is clear: break the cartel system from all angles and leave no room to escape. In recent missions, drones and warships worked side by side with stealth bombers and fighter jets. While B-2 bombers hit command centers from above, FA-18 jets took out radio towers and field communications. At the same time, ships like the USS Cutter James hunted drug subs, seized fast boats, and captured millions of dollars in illegal cargo. Each team had its task, but they all operated on one timeline, striking within hours of each other. Mexico also played a key role. The country agreed to a joint military training program that paired U.S. Special Forces with Mexico's elite Marines. These local fighters provided ground support and vital intelligence, helping locate hidden drug labs and supply routes deep in remote jungle areas. By coordinating all these resources, the U.S. and Mexico created a pressure network. Every time the cartels moved, by sea, air, or land, they were tracked and blocked. It wasn't just about seizing drugs. It was about breaking the entire supply system, cutting off safe routes, and gathering critical intel for future raids. Every arrest and seizure revealed more names, routes, and storage locations. Each mission was a piece of the puzzle, slowly revealing the bigger picture of cartel operations. As the strikes continued, cartel members began losing confidence in their own networks. Some even changed locations or dumped their shipments before getting caught, proof that fear was spreading. And fear was just the beginning. What came next was a financial disaster and the breakdown of the trust that kept the cartel empire alive. The joint operations delivered one of the biggest blows to drug gangs in years. In just a few months, United States and allied forces seized nearly $1 billion worth of illegal drugs, hitting the cartels where it hurts most, their wallets. With so many shipments intercepted, the financial damage piled up fast. Some gangs lost entire submarine shipments or multiple fast boats full of cocaine. These losses weren't just about missing profits, they caused huge internal issues, frustrating smugglers and partners when deals fell through. Trust within the cartels started to fall apart. Local suppliers and middlemen no longer felt safe working under leaders who couldn't guarantee successful deliveries. In many cases, cartel bosses had to spend more money to protect routes or bribe officials, increasing costs while profits dropped. This loss of trust spread, weakening the cartel's grip on areas it once ruled without challenge. On top of that, many hidden routes and drug storage sites were uncovered, including underwater tunnels and jungle bases. United States forces are now using this intel to plan more raids, pushing the cartels deeper into chaos. The enemy is losing its ability to regroup. Low-level members have started abandoning their posts. The damage isn't just economic, it's psychological. After years of smuggling drugs with almost no consequences, cartel members now feel like they're being hunted. They know American drones are watching from the sky. Navy ships are patrolling every region. Special forces strike without warning. This fear is eroding their power, and it's spreading beyond Mexico, from Colombia all the way to the United States. But as the military campaign achieves success, it's also raising serious questions, especially about where American power ends and another nation's sovereignty begins. As the United States campaign against cartels expands, it's facing a tough diplomatic challenge. Mexico has firmly opposed any unilateral action. President Claudia Sheinbaum has clearly stated that the United States must not act without full cooperation and approval. Her administration insists that Mexico's sovereignty must be respected, even when fighting drug violence together. Tensions rose when United States leaders, especially from Trump's administration, hinted that America might carry out military operations without Mexico's permission. That includes B-2 bomber strikes and drone missions deep inside Mexican territory. Moves like that would break long-standing agreements and could spark a political storm in both countries. The situation is even more delicate because of previous remarks by senior United States officials. For example, former Defense Secretary Mark Esper revealed that Trump once asked about launching missiles at cartel labs in Mexico. though he later denied it. While that plan was never executed, the idea alone still worries many in the Mexican government, especially with Trump returning to power with a stronger military agenda. At the same time, some voices in the United States see things differently. Supporters of military strikes argue that if cartels are waging war on America, the United States has every right to defend itself, no matter where the threat is hiding. They claim the Mexican government has failed to control the cartels and that American forces must step in to protect lives. The conflict is now turning into a test of will between two neighbors. Behind closed doors, the Pentagon and National Security Council are preparing for possible backlash, while also building a legal case for self-defense. Diplomats are working to cool tensions, but the path forward is unclear. If the United States launches a major strike without Mexico's approval, it could damage relations for years and trigger public protests across Latin America. The war on drug cartels is no longer just a security issue. It has become a full-blown military campaign stretching from the sky to the sea. The United States is now using its most advanced weapons, stealth bombers, warships, and surveillance drones, to fight a criminal network that operates like an army. With tens of thousands of American lives lost each year to drugs, the government believes stronger action is the only way forward. But this bold new strategy comes with serious risks. By treating cartels like terrorist groups, the United States is opening the door to airstrikes, some of which could cross international borders. The growing tension with Mexico shows that even the best military plans can have political consequences. As this campaign continues, the world is watching closely, wondering whether these aggressive actions will finally crush the cartels or create a whole new kind of conflict. Finally, thanks for sticking with us and listening to the story. Don't forget to follow S News for more.